Hello, you're welcome again to our lesson today. We'll be looking at Excel text functions. And text functions are those functions that we use to clean text values. We use them to transform text values. All right. Look at this. Look at this Excel file. Look at this data set, sales data from a sales record. See that these records are organized, but they are not very clean, they are not tidy. You see, multiple informations are joined together, like the transaction ID, you have the transaction type, you have the year, you have the label as well. Customer name, you have the customer name, they are not standardized. Some names are in uppercase, some are in lowercase, some are just written anyhow like that. Then even there are spaces between them. So we want to transform the text and standardize this text. At the end of this training, this is what we want to achieve. We want to standardize the customer name, get the customer first name, get the customer last name, all right, derive the product code from those records, and get the year the transaction was performed, get the branch that the transaction was performed, standardize the category, and generate a customer ID from the details we have, from the customer first name and last name, and of course the year, and then a serial number will generate a customer ID for that. We also get a transaction label that will combine a year and a serial number. Is that okay? That is what we want to achieve. This is our blank slate. We'll be using this blank slate to achieve those functions. So it's important at this point to mention some of the functions that we will use. Excel functions include the following. We will use the len function. We use the find function. We will use the left function. We use right function. We use mid function. We will use concatenate function. These are the functions we're going to combine to achieve everything we want to achieve in this study today. Yeah, learn, trim as well, very important function, trim, because of the white spaces that we saw there. So first is for the customer first, the customer they want to remove the white spaces like value like James Okoro. You see, there's a white space between before J, so we want to make sure that we remove spaces like that. Is that okay? And then when we do that, we also want to make it that the first letter of the first name is a capital letter and the first letter of the last name is a capital letter. So we're going to combine the trim function and the proper function. I didn't list it. We're going to use also proper to get that. We use upper function as well. We use lower function as well. These are the number of functions we're going to combine at the end of this study. Is that okay to perform the functions we want to perform? What is the len function? Let's start from there. The len function is used to get the size of a text. To get the size of a text, we use the len function. For instance, if I have Samuel, Cyril, text function will tell me how many characters are in that text. And it tells me it's 12. Do you know why 12? Because Samuel, Cyril itself is 11. And there's a white space between Samuel and Cyril. That makes it 12. If I should include an empty space, if I should increase a space, that is, I've included two spaces now, make it 3 before I now start typing Samuel. And then I want to get the length of that function, okay, of that word. You see, there is 9. It gives tells me there are 9 characters in it. Why? Because I included 3 empty spaces before I started typing Samuel. So that's what the learn function helps us to do. Now, when I trim it, when I trim the name, if I trim it, that means the I want to remove the space in the name. 1, 2, 3. I have removed the space. I am now written Samuel proper. So I trim it. Right now, get the length again of that name, of that trimmed name. So if you get the name, the length tells me 6 because I have removed the white space. Is that okay? The trim function remove the white space at the beginning of the text and at the end of the text. So that's the first thing we're going to do to clean this data. We're going to trim the first name and also get the prepare them in uppercase. So let's get it done. Okay, what is the proper doing? See the proper function. The proper is going to make sure that the first the first letter of each word in the text is in capital letter. The first letter in each word of the text is in capital letter. That's what proper function does. Is that okay? Samuel Cyril Tutor, for instance. So with proper function, the S is going to be a capital letter, C in C is going to be a capital letter, T in tutor is going to be a capital letter. That is what proper function do. So let's combine proper and trim to standardize the first name of the customer. So what do we do first? We do proper first. We're going to group the two functions. Then we put trim in it. Is that okay? So after the names that are trimmed, then they are going to be transformed in proper format, okay, in title case. So that is it. Paul Okoro, we have trimmed it, we have removed the white text, the empty spaces, and then we have transformed it in proper case. Is that okay? The next function, the next function we'll see very quickly is the next function we'll see now is a function we use to get the first name of these customers. We get just the first name, their first name only. I have told you the left function is used to extract a number of characters from the beginning of a text. For instance, if I do left and I have Samuel Cyril, that's my name, of course, Samuel Cyril, all right, and then I want to get only Sam, I will do left and I put 3. That means I need 3 characters from the text Samuel Cyril. Left will give me that. Is that okay? But where you are not sure of how many characters, like in our case now, you are not sure of how many characters form the each first name of the people. The first name of the people does not have equal number of characters. There are some names that are longer, there are some other names that are shorter. So in that case, we have to combine the left function and the find function. Find function is used to tell us the position of a particular character you specify. For instance, since the first name and the last name are separated by empty space, we use that. And then, for instance, put this Samuel Okoro now. All right, function is going to tell me that the empty space is in the 5th position of Paul Okoro. That applies us for other words. If I change it to this name here now, Chinedu, I change this empty space for Chinedu Paul. See, text line tell me that the empty space is the 8th position. So we're going to use that combination to get the position, the first name of the customer. So we use left, right, customer first. Then we use the find function. The names are separated by empty space. So we put empty space. All right. We reference the name again. Is that okay? We reference the name again. Then want to get the first name. What do? We do -1 so that the empty space will not be included. That is how we can get it Paul Okoro. So we get Paul. If you drag it down, you get the correct first name of others. Is that okay? That is the correct first name of others. The next we want to achieve quickly is how to look at what we did. -1. -1 is so that by the time it retrieves the first letters, it will not include the white space again. That's why we did -1. Is that okay? All right. So the next thing we want to do is to get the last name. These are the last name: Okoro, Ade, Paul, Wosu, Adebayo, and all of that. Now, once again, the last name does not have equal size. All right, some last names are longer than the others. Is that okay? So we cannot be sure that right function, which is used to retrieve specified number of characters from the end of a text, we cannot be sure that will do it correctly. For instance, if I do for Paul Okoro and I say get me 5 characters from Paul Okoro, I will correctly have Okoro. But a situation whereby that I did that for Sarah Ade, if that was for Sarah Ade, the answer will no longer be correct. Is that okay? She now have H Ade because the last name does not have equal size. So for that reason again, we're going to combine the right function, the len function, and of course the find function to correctly extract the last name of the people. So we start with right. That is to give us the exact character from the middle. Look at, okay, let me show you this way. Um, okay, let me type a name here first. Let me type, I will have some serial tutor, and then, okay, let me just use the name here. So we have right, and then for Paul Okoro, is that okay? And then len, so that it would consider the length of the size of the text. We're going to subtract that from the position where the white space is found. Is that okay? From the position where the white space is found. And then that is the formula we're going to use to get the last name of the people. If I change, this was from Paul Okoro, if I change it to Sarah Day, everywhere you see A3, you change it to, everywhere you see A2, you change it to A3. I have gotten it correctly. That can apply to another person as well. Change it to 4, change the reference to A4, change it to A4 over here as well. It will also give me correct result. That's Chinedu Paul. So that means that formula correctly will give us the last name of the people. So let's put it there. Equals right, all right, the reference, then the size of the text, all right, minus the position where we have an empty text, an empty character, right? Good. So that gives us the the last name of the customer, correctly extracted. If I'm too fast for you, please let me know. Okay. Now the next thing we want to extract, the next thing we want to file or get now is quickly the product code. I have shown you earlier. The product code is a combination of 3 letters from the customer, the product name, and the first 2 letters of the category name. All right. First 3 letters of the product name and first 2 letters of the category name. So at that point, that means we're going to join 2 things from the product name and from the category name. So that is where we use the concatenate function. Concatenate function is used to join 2 texts or 2 or more texts. So if I have concatenate, I want to join Samuel and Paul. So that will give me Samuel Paul at the end of the day. That will give me Samuel Paul. Another way to do that is to use the ampersand. If I have Samuel and then I use the ampersand like the and symbol, and then I put Paul, it can also give me Samuel Paul. Is that okay? If I want to introduce a space, I use concatenate. I pick Samuel. I have to manually put the space, right? In the quote, then I put Paul. I will have Samuel Paul. Also, we also can also do that using the ampersand again. All right. I type the and symbol. All right. You put the white space. You type the and again. And then you pick this guy. That will give you Samuel Paul as well. So any one of them that is very simple for you to use, you can use it. So that's the kind of thing we're going to use to form the product code. But you can see the product code is in uppercase, is in capital letter, all in capital letter, and there's an hyphen between them. So before we still get it done, we have to learn how can we transform a text to upper letter, to capital letter. We have the upper function in Excel that is used to transform a text to everything in uppercase. Is that okay? We have seen proper, only first letter in each word of the text is in capital letter, but the upper function will make every text, every letter or character in the text to be in uppercase. A brother to that quickly is the lower function. It makes everything in a text to be in smaller letter. Is that okay? This was written in title case, but with lower function, it turns to cover small letter all through. So let's get that done. So since we need the product name, 3 letters from it, first 3 letters, and the category name, first 2 letters, and they should be in capital letter. You see now we're going to join the concatenate function. we're going to combine concatenate function and then the upper function. Is that okay? So for instance, we can have, if I have, for instance, laptop, this is product name, and then I have electronics, So to get it done, what will be the product code now? We'll have a combo of upper, first three letters, like we said, of laptop, first three letters, all right, combo of that, and and upper again, first two letters of this guy, first two letters now, all right, that will give me the combination. But remember, there is an iPhone we should add. An iPhone we should add after P. So the iPhone should come here. So uh, we have the iPhone. We have to write our iPhone. That's dash symbol. Put it in a white space. Then you put your ampersand symbol. All right, you put your ampersand symbol. See what I've done? I have an iPhone in between the quotation mark. So that gives me what I want. That is what we want, something like that. So quickly apply it to the data set. So we have equals to upper, left, go to the worksheet where the data is found. We have, no, not there, the original data. We have product name first, rather. All right, three letters from it. Okay, close the two brackets. We introduce the ampersand so that we can put our combining string. All right, then the ampersand again, we have upper for the category, left function for the category. We need two letters from the category group. All right, so that will give us all that we want. That will give us everything we want. The next one I'm going to write using the concatenate function. So either one that is most suitable or more convenient for you, you can use it. So I have this one. Now we have to start with concatenate. Then we have the upper, we have the left, so that we use that to get the first three letters of the product name. All right, number 3 for that case. All right, comma. We are using the concatenate function itself. So we manually write this. We put comma again. Then we do another upper function to get the first two letters of category. All right, first two letters of category. We have closed that. Then the next bracket we need to close is the bracket of the concatenate function. When you do that, you will have the lapel as well. So anyone that is good for you, you can apply it. Is it okay? I was using, let's change this to the next row there. It will help us. Is it okay? Yeah. So we have office, that should be, look at this, that is office chair and is a furniture. So what this means is office chair and furniture. Is that okay? So apply the way you want to apply. That's what I'm applying. The last one we just wrote now. Drag it down. You have produced the product code of the transactions that were made. Is that okay? That's like the product code for the strips for describing the product that is being purchased. Then the next guy we want to do now is, let us clear this so far. Let's clear this. Right click, select the all, right click, you do clear context. Is that okay? Now the next one is to produce the transaction year from that transaction. Look at, these are the transactions. In this 2026, all the guys in the middle are the transaction year. So we want to bring out the transaction year from this transaction ID. What can we do? the mid function is big, an appropriate function we can use to do that. The mid function is used to extract desired number of characters from any position we want in a text. For instance, if I have Samuel Siri, all right, and then I want to get CY, I want to get CY, for instance, you count where does CY start from. CY starts from the white space after Samuel. So that the Samuel contains 6, white space is number 7, C is 8. All right, so I need just CY. That means 2 characters from the 8 character. All right, so that will give me CY. Is that okay? So that is what we can use that procedure to get the the transaction here. However, we can also combine the mid function with the find function. We can combine the mid function. If I write, okay, let's go ahead. Combine the mid function with the find function. If I have, if this is what we have, TROX, TROX 2026, all right, this is the text. And then I want to use the find function to look for 2026. What will I do? I will use 2026 is immediately after the iPhone. So I put the iPhone. I have to put the text again. TROX 2026. What is the text there? 00023. All right. So when I do that, good. What again? Okay. Yeah. That can plus one. We have to do plus one so that we can have the 2026 extracted. That's an extracted. Get a point? Plus one. Okay, that's just two parameters. Mid function require 3. Then from that point, how many characters do I want? That's what is remaining. 4 characters. Is that okay? So I now have 2026. So anyone you want, you can use it. So let us use the simpler one you have seen us demonstrate. The mid function. You pick up the transaction ID from that point, and then 2026 start from character number 5 because TXN and the iPhone are 4 already. So 2026 start from number 5 and 2026 contain 4 characters. So when you do that, you have the year of the various transactions. Drag it down again, you have what you desire to make from there. Is that okay? Now I have a very simple text for you, simple challenge for you now. Want to fill the branch from this, want to fill the branch like this, want to get PH, IBA, LAG, Lagos, Ibadan, Enugu, Lagos, Ibadan, Enugu, and all of that. The way we have it here, want to fill the branch just like this now, want to fill it from there now. So what function do you think we can use to achieve that? Write the function and write how to get it done. Do that in 30 seconds. I'll wait for you in 30 seconds. Fine, beautiful, welcome. I hope you got correct. Look at what we should do compared to what you have done. We already have we have the branch code. We want to get only the branch. So the left function, very simple, can do that for us. We will have to combine the left function and the mid function. Do you know the reason? Because not all the branch have equal letters. All right. So some branch have 2 letters, some have 3 letters, and all of that. So what to use? We should combine the left function and the find function to achieve that. So we have left, pick up the branch code, we pick the the branch code, all right, comma, you get the file. What are we using? What is our delimiter? The delimiter should be the iPhone symbol. Is that okay? Of the same branch code. Is that okay now? Beautiful. the hyphen symbol, and then -1, because we want to get only the branch code from the text. So that gives us ph. If you drag it down, we'll get it for other locations correctly extracted. Is that okay? So see what we did? We combined the left function and the find function, and we're able to achieve what we want to achieve. The next thing is standard category. We just simply want to make sure that this category, look at category of the product, electronics, some are in capital letters, some are in small letters, some are in title case. So we want to make everything to be in capital letter. What should we do? The upper function will do that, I guess. Are you correct? Try it in 2 seconds, in 5 seconds. Upper function, make everything in capital letter. Beautiful. That's great. So upper function, choose the category. Is it okay? As simple as that. Okay, so you drag it down and use it to fill the other ones. Use it to fill the other details there. Okay, now the next guy is customer ID. Look at what we want to achieve in this case. This is how the kind of ID want to do for the customer. The customer ID should be a combination of the first name of the customer, first letter of the first name, first letter of the last name, the 2 letters of the year. That's like if 2026 we have 26, 2025 we have 25, 2 letters of the year, and then 3 digits number as serial number, 3 digits for serial number. We're going to use that to form the customer ID. Quickly, pay very close attention now. This is very important. Is that okay? So we have one number, we need a customer first letter. Pay attention again that they are in capital letter. So we have to do upper, we have to do left, customer, and write equal to. So left, we get customer, only one character is what we need. I'll put it in capital case with the upper function. Then we join it without space with the first letter of the last name, left again, the first letter of the last name. All right, put it again in capital letter. What again do we need? The year. Okay, so we have ampersand. Sorry, I have not closed my bracket. Or the first upper should be closed well. This one also should be well closed. So we also combine it again. We say the year, right? The year. So what do we need? We can use left to, is it left now? We have transaction year. Yes, correct. So we have left, just 2 characters from this. Beautiful. 2 characters. Is it two? Is it left or right? It should be right because it's the last number we want, 2024. So right, 2 characters from the transaction year. Is that okay? 2 characters from there. They want to assign a serial number ID. So let's use text for that. Text. All right. Text. Text. Let's go by row function. Row. So that the first customer will have ID number 1. All right. ID number 00. So in this case, you produce the format or use the text function. You provide the text value and the text format of the text. So this is a text that will be in 3 digits. So that will give us what we want to achieve. Something is missing. Good. That's what we want to achieve. PO, that is Paul Loco 26001, starting from row number 1. So when you shift it down, you have everybody's customer ID correctly assigned. Correctly assigned. Is that okay now? Correctly assigned. Very correctly assigned. Pay attention closely. You can practice it again. You can practice it again. Upper to get, even though the first letter were already in uppercase. So we don't even need that because it's already in uppercase. Is that okay? You can do without the upper function. And if you do that, try not to close the bracket twice. Left function of the first name and then just one character for P. You do the same for the last name, one character for the last name. Then right function to collect the last two characters of the transaction year, the last two values of the transaction year, and then use the row function to assign from row number one, right, from 1 to the number of customers we have recorded, and then we're doing it in 3 decimal number. Is that okay? So that gives us what we want to achieve. The last thing for this exercise this afternoon is to get the transaction label. The transaction label. Look at how the transaction label appears. The year of the transaction and the serial number of the transaction. The year of the transaction and the serial number of the transaction. We can get that again from the customer ID if we want, or we can extract it from the transaction year that the transaction was done. So let's get it from transaction year. Okay. So what should we do? We use write again, write transaction year, two characters. We join it with ampersand. We join it with text. All right. Text form, use the row function again, row minus one. All right. And then in three letters, three digits. All right. For that. Simple. Yeah. As simple as that. So we have formed the transaction label. That gave us transaction label. Is that okay? So we have cleaned the data set. Doesn't it look clean to you? So what do you do next? Let's make it, we can make it a table. Is that okay? Just select everything, click anywhere in this in the data set, make it Control A, then you press Control T. It will ask you whether the table have headers. You click OK. Yeah, you check it if yours is not checked. You check it and then you click OK. So we have created a table now. Beautiful. So we have cleaned this data set. We have cleaned it. Is it okay? So you can use this to replace this if that is necessary. You can use this to replace this, or you can as well work with this. So what do you do next? You copy this value, copy it, paste it somewhere as a raw value, so that even if you wipe out the other guy, you can still have this intact. Paste it as a raw value. You see the paste options. See the paste options there. Paste it as values. Don't keep source. No bother. Formulas, no. 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 Just paste it as values. Very good. Just paste it as values. They don't contain numbers again. They are not having numbers again. Is it okay? So you see, there are no numbers attached to them again. So that is just what we have done. There are no formulas again attached to them. I did copy with the rows actually. So thank you for watching the video. What have we done now? You can use these values again to replace the ones we did here. Now, even if you remove this data set that we used initially, even if you remove the data set, you still have your correct formula.